okay, if your man was to give you an undivided attention, is that what you would like? And in that undivided attention, what would you have him do?
Welcome to another episode of the God, Money, and Sex podcast. My name is Raul Villacis, and I'm here with my co-host,
Vivian Villacis. So excited to be here with you today.
So today we have a very interesting topic. I think this is a topic that a lot of men have been waiting for. Like, what do women want? What is it that women want above anything else?
What do we want more than anything?
So we just came back from the Next Level Leadership Summit, where we invited some of our clients and their spouses to join us in this journey. It's a two-day event, two-day leadership event. And amazing. I asked the woman, I was up front and said, what is it that you want? What is it that the woman want, especially when you're married to a driven entrepreneur, when you're married to a guy who's constantly going 100 miles an hour, and what do they want? So let's give us some feedback about what did we experience from that conversation.
I mean, the event was amazing, and we had a lot of great feedback when it came to the women, when they started talking and really opening up. And I think at the end of it, it's just, they want time, they want to be seen, and they want to have all the attention on them. And that's something that sometimes that we don't get. But when we do get it, then we're not happy about it.
And that's one thing that drives me crazy when, because I've been working with men for the last, 5 years, exclusively with high-level entrepreneurs and trying to, put everything together and integrate everything from their business to their marriage, to their health, to their connection with God. And the one thing that constantly keeps showing up is that we know how to build businesses, we know how to create empires, but the one place that we feel like sometimes we're losing is in the relationship.
Yeah.
Because as men, we don't understand what a woman wants. Because you're saying right now, like, okay, you want attention. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Like, okay, I'm giving you the attention, but in a deep level, it's like I truly think that women are not communicating exactly what they want with their man.
And then I think a lot of the times too, like I know when you ask me that question, it's like, what kind of attention do you want? What is it that you want from me, woman? Like, tell me. And really, we don't take the time to ask ourselves those questions. Like, as women, like I was asking them when we had some time alone, I'm like, okay, if your man was to give you an undivided attention, is that what you would like? And in that undivided attention, what would you have him do? And very few of them knew exactly what they wanted, because they barely take the time to think like, okay, if I have this time, what would I have him do? Because a lot of the times we're thinking about everyone else that's in front of us. We're moms, we're entrepreneurs, business owners, whatever it is that we're handling, like juggling all these things. Do we barely take the time to like ask ourselves, what is it that, if I had all this time, if I was to ask my husband to do something for me, what would I ask him to do? And that's a question that I had to ask myself, because it's like, okay, when you ask me, when we have our date nights or when we have our time together, like, what is it that I want from you? And sometimes, to be honest, I don't want you to say anything, but I just want you to lay next to me, or I want you to hold my hand, or whatever it is, like I know exactly what I want.
So here's the thing for all the guys who are listening to this podcast. Understand, like, we're not gonna be able to figure out women in a million years. Like,
no, and I don't even think we are able to figure ourselves out.
You are a constantly evolving creature that is constantly looking for more and more and more. So, like, just to give a little bit of feedback.
And that's why you love us.
That's exactly what I say. That's exactly what attracts us to you. Yeah. Because I think that the male energy is attracted to the challenge.
Yeah.
And if you're asking me, like, what do men want? It's very simple. Man, we are driven by challenge. We're driven by an obstacle. We're driven by an outcome. So it's very easy to understand. Like, if you put any man in the planet and you make him choose whether he's gonna have a challenge or
he would
not,
love a challenge.
He will love a challenge.
Yeah,
and
then
one of the reasons we kind of stop challenging ourselves, we kind of sedate that challenge, and that's where we become unsatisfied.
And then for the woman, like, if you ask them, like, at the end, ultimately, like, what is it that they want? They want to be seen and they want to be loved. That's all we really want.
So let's break that down. Like, so
okay.
a woman wants to be seen and wants to be loved, right?
Right.
So now here's a man that is looking for a challenge. So you could see how those two different species, right? When
Opposites.
They're not communicating the right way, because the man wants to be challenged and the woman wants to
have all the attention for herself.
You could see how, as a man, if I'm giving you all the attention, I don't have enough attention to the challenge, unless
The attention doesn't become your challenge. Is that what you're saying?
unless there is something for me to win if I give the attention to.
Okay.
Because I think that's one of the things that we kind of got real and got the conversation with the guys and with the women. And one of the things that I saw is that the reason that sometimes men, we give up in the relationship is because we're playing a game that we cannot win. So if we're like a challenge and we want to play a game, and if we look at life as a game, business as a game, relationship as a game,
Okay.
when we are at home and you're asking us, okay, here's what I want from you, Raul. Okay, I'm giving it to you, but you're still not satisfied, or there is not immediate feedback, but there's a lot of more complaints and complain. Well, you should have done this, or why don't you do it this way, or you got, this is what you got wrong.
And that's what we were talking about. Even like the word itself, like between complain and feedback, like, and I was honest with you, I was like, I'd rather say I have a complaint to give you than some feedback. And when like if we just change the wording, like you're saying, because
the moment I hear complain, I'm like, what the fuck do you have to complain about? Like, I'm giving you everything, woman. Like, I'm working my ass off. I'm building these things. I'm giving you everything, that I have, but then you still have complaints. So it's in the mind of the man, the word complain is like, shit, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not enough. I'm failing.
Okay. So is that the time that you guys check out?
That's exactly when we check out.
Okay.
When we're playing a game that we can't win, there's no point. So when
you have decided that you can't play the game anymore. So then you're just checking out.
It's the score. Is that we're seeing it. We're having a conversation, and this conversation is not going anywhere. And every man that listens to this right now understands this. If you have a conversation with your woman, and there's a lot of complaining, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and you know that you're not gonna win that game, your mind
is just checked out.
Checked out. It's like, okay, fuck, I'm done. Like this, I cannot win this conversation. I can't win this argument. I can't win this situation. So I'd rather focus on something I could win.
So then you go to another game.
So most likely, we could win the game of business.
Yeah, and that's where you go. That's the easiest thing. And that's why we have so many relationships that have trouble, is because for a man, we feel like it's so much easier for them to go and get the satisfaction and the praise from their business. The same thing from God. Like, you may question God. You may question like, okay, you're not answering my prayer. But at the same time, it's like, you're not really taking the time to think in different terms. You're not taking the time to like, okay, maybe the game is not working out the same way for you. Like how it is with our kids. When we start playing a game, and sometimes we don't like the way the game is going, we really change it up.
So that, and it goes back to, okay, are you in it for the long term, or you just in it because you want to win a couple of games?
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. Yes, because if you're not winning, then most of the time you're going to be checking out of like every relationship that you're in.
You're going to be checking out of every conversation. You're going to be checking out of every situation. And all of a sudden that becomes your habit. And then that's where the disconnect. Okay. Because I bet you at the beginning of every relationship, it wasn't that thought. It was, I know. I want to win this woman. Like I want to win her love. I'm making sure that I'm giving her all the attention because it's a winnable game. But then after
but then at the beginning it's completely different too, because you're winning, but maybe a lot of the times I feel like we're not even telling you what we really want. So we're letting you win.
For us.
We're letting you win.
That's exciting for us because we're trying to figure out, how do we win this? How do we get you to fall in love with us? How do we get you, to kind of, increase that passion? So that's a winnable game. But what happens is that afterwards we win the game, and now we enter into another season of the game, and the rules change because all of a sudden now you're giving me complaints.
Or feedback.
You're giving me complaints. You're like, okay.
Feedback.
When I used to do this, then this used to happen. When so all of a sudden, like, oh shit, like I thought I won the game. Yeah. Why do I have to continue to compete the game? So
because if you're not competing, here's the thing. This is another thing that like I was telling the woman. If you guys are not feeling like you're playing a game or you're competing against something, then that's when the relationship gets boring. And for women, like or I'll speak for myself, what I've done wrong is like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to play a game anymore. Like I'll just go read a book, or I'll go with my girlfriends, or I'll do whatever it is that I have to do, or I'll go run a business, or I'll go to church, or I'll go to all these meetings.
You're tapping into the other part. Like, okay, I'm not getting what I want, so I'm gonna get what I want regardless somewhere else.
Because he's not playing the game that I want him to play.
So, and it goes back and forth. So if we are having a challenge in a relationship, I'm gonna find a game that I could win, because it's impossible for me to win at home. So therefore, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna check out.
Yeah.
And so many people in a situation right now that they settle to play that game.
Yeah.
They settle for less passion, they settle for less connection, and they settle for just bare communication because they give up already.
Yeah.
They give up. So that we don't understand, as men, we think, okay, that's normal. Like, okay, we just celebrated 19 years of marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, for all the statistics, we either should have lost that passion already or we should have been separated. I mean, those are the statistics here.
And then the only thing that we could do is like what happens with us in those 19 years that I could look back and say, like, what did we do different? What did we do that allowed us to continue to love each other? Because, it's funny, like I tell a lot of people, like, I've been married 19 years, but I'm madly in love with the person, with you, for the last 5 years. And it's only because in those years, I allowed myself to like be fully in my marriage and be fully in myself. And there, I mean, we could go on. It's a whole another podcast.
But see, the last 5 years, you invested in you, and the last 5 years invested in me. So we always say, like, we stopped trying to compete with each other. We start trying to, complement each other. We just started you started doing you, and I started doing me, and then from that place, it became excited again.
Yeah, and then I started to get curious about myself, like what are asking questions, like, okay, if I ask him to give me all this attention, what does that mean? What am I going to ask this man to do? Because he would do anything for me. But what is it that I want? What is it that brings me happiness and brings me pleasure? Because if we don't have those two things, like as women, like we forget that. Like pleasure, I know our sex coach always says that to us all the time. It's like pleasure first.
And we don't. And the part of that always blows my mind is that we don't, as men, sometimes we don't know how to ask for the pleasure. We want to please the woman.
Yeah.
And I know that's been, for me, it's like, okay, I want to please my woman. I want to please my clients. I want to please everyone. So eventually we become pleasers. And a man who becomes a pleaser doesn't take care of himself, and he starts losing that polarity. Because I think that the moment that the woman, they think, and this, correct me if I'm wrong, as you know, I'm not a woman.
Yes.
The moment that you said, okay, here's what I want. I want a man to do everything that I want him to do. I want a man that I can control. I want a man that could be predictable. I want a man that, says yes to everything. The moment that you get that man, what happens?
Oh, then we feel like we lost too, because it's so unattractive.
Because you lose the polarity.
Yes, so unattractive. Because then what's the game here?
So then, as you could see, like the game here is the opposites, right?
Yeah.
To constantly be in a place of opposites. Like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what you want, which, you told me at the top of your list is attention and being loved. So the way I look at it, and the way that I teach my clients, like, your woman wants to feel that she's number one.
Yes.
If she feels that you're number one, doesn't matter whether you give her an hour, you give her 5 minutes, or you give her 1 week. She just wants to feel that you're building something for both of you, not just for her, for both of you. Because here's the honest truth: a lot of us, we lie to ourselves, and we lie to everyone saying, "I'm building this business for us, for you, for the family." That's bullshit. Like, I'm building this business because that's who I am. I'm building a business because that's what I was made of.
And as long as you're honest and you say that to yourself, then you will be able to see, like, okay, I'm building this because I love my business, because I love to work, and I love to everything that I have around me. But that's not what makes me happy. So as long as we're clear, like, okay, you're building the business and I thank you for it, you're the provider, but that is not what I need to make me happy. And I think that was a lot of the feedback that we got from the women too in the event. It's like, I just want your time. I just want your presence. I just want our connection to be together. And those are two different things that maybe you will never understand, but are starting to understand.
Right? So understand this. Like, let's say, okay, I just want your presence. I want you to be with me. I want you to be number one. And let's say we sell everything, right? And we move to this island, because I had this conversation with many clients. I said, Raul, what if I just sell everything, cash out, and just move with my woman and my family?
Yeah, but that's extreme.
But that is a conversation that we sometimes have in our heads. Like,
that's what you think that you need to do?
That's sometimes the things that we think that we have to go to the extremes to end the friction.
No.
But I always come back to, like, if that happens,
we will not be happy.
We will not be happy. Why? Because
men need
to hunt. Men need to build. We need to
have our own space.
Compete.
Yeah, and we also need to have our space. Like, how is it that both of us are going to be together in an island? Like, we would burn the island together because there's nothing to do.
So the exciting part of this is understanding that whatever you are looking for as a woman and as a man, the passion and the relationship is built on finding those nuances. Yeah, that sometimes you're not even clear about what you want.
Yes, and then just thinking back, like, on my son, like, I don't understand Fortnite at all. I do understand that it takes a lot of time from him, but I see him and then he's always like, Mom, I need to play a little longer because I need to get a new backpack or a new weapon or a new parachute or whatever it is. So, and I'm like, okay, you know, like you're investing that time to get something better. And that's how sometimes I look at myself. I'm like, if I'm not taking the time for myself to invest into myself, into having a new parachute, having a new weapon, having a new outfit, having a new lingerie, whatever it is that makes me happy, that in turn will bring our relationship closer, then I am not putting my best effort into the relationship. And I think a lot of the women, we lack that innovation in our marriage. And that's why so many marriages like disappear with time, because it's like you forgot.
Nobody's investing in each other.
You
Nobody's
forgot.
investing in themselves. Nobody's investing in each other. So if you're watching us through Facebook Live, just chime in and ask some questions. We have a guy here saying women are in 2018 mostly want money, because that's all I see on Facebook. And a man isn't. If a man doesn't have money and he doesn't pay the bills, then he doesn't have a woman. So
I mean, money is a lot. Money is good. There's nothing wrong with money, but if you just focus on money.
I mean, we have a lot of people that have a lot of money and they're miserable in their relationship.
Yes.
We have a lot of men who made millions and millions of dollars and they're not happy in their relationship. Here's the reality. Women want certainty when it comes to money.
Yeah.
Women want to know.
And that's what money brings.
Women want to know that a guy is going to be out there hunting. A woman want to know that you have what it takes to hunt, to provide. But the moment that you already provide that, that's the first level. I think that's the first level. Like, yes, at the beginning, no woman wants to be with a guy that can't fucking provide, that can't create security for her.
Especially now, because there's so many women that provide for themselves. So it's like, okay, if I'm providing for myself, like, what are you bringing to the table?
So now that game of like, okay, I'm the provider, I'm the hunter, that doesn't play anymore in 2018. That chip has gone, because women pay their own bills, they have their own houses, they have their own cars, they don't need a man to provide for them.
And at the same time, they're desperately looking for the relationship that they could come home and just say, for the man to say, I got you, babe.
Well, that's the support.
Got you.
That's they want a man that you said could love them and could see them and could be there with them, whether they have money or not. A man that could hold the space for them.
Yes, but men do need to get out there. Like, I see so many men that are just like wishing and hoping for money to fall in their laps. Like, what is that about? Like, no.
In 2018, there's no excuse for a man to go hunt.
Yeah.
In 2018 there's no excuse for you to be a hunter. You gotta hunt. You gotta take care of your own stuff. But that's just the first level. After that, after you have some kind of security, somewhat security, then the deeper level is, can you connect? Can you become more connected with each other so you can scale and bring more of that gift into the world and become better?
Right. It takes time, because like, look, in our relationship, I could say like from our marriage, we were in a marriage probably like 4 or 5 years into our marriage, or maybe even less, and we had like some money, and then all of a sudden we had no money. But that
we've been there when there was no money, when the market crashed.
There a lot of money and no money.
So then from that perspective, you didn't stay with me because of the money.
No, but I knew that you were gonna make the money.
You stayed with me because you knew that I was a hunter.
Yeah.
You stayed with me because like, he's gonna figure some shit out, and that's actually the conversation that you and I had. Is like, you told me, okay, I'm gonna be with you, but you have to figure this shit out. It's not gonna be forever. It's not gonna, this is not gonna be the end of the story.
Yeah.
So just to wrap it up, number one thing,
yes,
we will never know what women want. But we have a clue, and the clue is that they want to know that they are the priority for a man's life.
We want to be seen, and we want to be loved.
They're loved. They're appreciated.
Yes.
And a man wants to have a challenge. A man wants to have a challenge. A man doesn't want to be with a woman that doesn't challenge him either.
Yeah, and then it's up to us to like create that game. I think like, if you look at life, or if you look at marriage like as a game, like you want to not necessarily win, but you want to set each other up to win.
And woman, if you listen to this, like, make sure that you appreciate your man when he's winning. Like, there's nothing worse, I'm telling you, as a man.
Yeah, don't beat him down.
For us to get beat down and get complaints. Give us feedback. We'll take feedback. Complaining,
that's even a great thing for me on this podcast.
We don't take it the right way. Complaining just triggers something like a challenge. Like,
lose the word complain and replace it with feedback. Allow your man to know your feedback that comes from a good place. I think like when you are giving feedback with the right intention, it will create change. But if you're giving complaints,
from the right place. I mean, every man that I meet that is building a business always comes down to his family. that
Yeah.
there's not an ounce of doubt on me. Every single entrepreneur out there that's
Yeah.
building something for his family.
Yeah, of course.
But in our core, we also doing it because that's in our DNA. That's who we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I met a guy just a couple weeks ago that he's already like, you know, is worth $200 million. And he's like, the business side is not
It's
difficult.
there, yeah.
But where he spends most of his time is to make sure that his marriage is still there.
That's
Because
perfect.
what do you get if you build an empire and you go home alone and you
Yeah.
are
There's nobody there to enjoy it
appreciate it
with.
with.
Yeah,
So-
appreciate it and enjoy it with.
So while you're building your business, while you're building your empire, just don't forget to constantly build your relationships
And
Constantly
appreciate each other.
Appreciate each other, and that goes
Yeah.
with you. Every single man there, just stop lying to yourself about why you're building your business. You're doing it for selfish reasons, which is that's who you are in your DNA.
And that's okay.
And
That's
it's
part
okay.
of you.
And just own it. And
Yeah.
your woman, your wife, your partner will own it too. And then between both of those, telling each other the truth about who you are, you could build something that is amazing and you're bringing value to the world.
And as always, communication, because if you guys learn to communicate each other, like, what is it that you want? What is my real truth of what I want in this game? I think things would be so much easier. Relationships are simple. We just complicate the fuck out of them.
Because we're human.
That's right.
That's right. And that's it. We can close with that. Follow us in Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us anywhere except for our bedroom.
Yeah.
So we'll keep it private. Learn it.
Live it, experience it. Love life.